Look at the searches for wildfire, up 2,400%. My goodness gracious, this is the most amount of people searching for wildfires ever, going back since Google Trends began back in 2004. But look at climate change. Look at the change. It doesn't go hand in hand with wildfires. It's actually down.
On CNN, they, along with all the other liberal Democrats in this country, are insisting that the reason we have these fires in California is because of climate change. And by the way, I just want to make this point one more time. Even if you believe that, even if you believe that climate change is the cause of these fires, that's no excuse for the governor and the mayor and the Democrats and everyone who every single member of the Democratic Party, which is a one-party rule in California, to not be prepared to fight the fires. Listen, you become the governor of Florida, you know you're going to have a hurricane. It doesn't matter what caused the hurricane. You know you're going to have a hurricane. And so you prepare for the hurricane. You're governor of California, you know you're going to have wildfires. Why? Why do you know that? Because for the last 100 years, every other year or so, there have been wildfires in California. So you prepare for the wildfires. These guys have not prepared. In fact, they've done nothing to prevent them from spreading the way that they've spread. All right. So in CNN, they are very concerned that you don't agree with them, that climate change is responsible here. And well, our friend Harry Henton there actually has the data to prove that you disagree with CNN, and well, watch their reaction.
Searches for wildfire, up 2,400%. My goodness gracious, this is the most amount of people searching for wildfires ever, going back since Google Trends began back in 2004. But look at climate change. Look at the change. It doesn't go hand in hand with wildfires. It's actually down. It's down 9%. And I also looked in California. There has been no increase in the number of searches for climate change. So the bottom line is this. Americans are definitely interested in learning about these wildfires. They're interested in following the news about the wildfires, but they are not making that connection with climate change. That's the bottom line here.
That's a really key metric you're looking at there, the connection. Overall, Americans being worried about climate change. What have we seen over time?
Yeah, we have seen a lot of extreme weather events over the last few decades, right? Hurricanes, heat waves, wildfires. You might expect that Americans worry about climate change with climate change, worry a lot. You go back to 1991, it was 35%. Now, it was a little bit higher in 2007, a little bit higher in 2022. But look at this. In 2023, the last time we have data, 39%. That is not statistically significantly different from this 35% back in 1991. So despite all these extreme weather events, Americans are really no more worried about climate change than they were, what is that, now nearly 35 years ago? I mean, there's just no real trend line here, Mr. Berman.
So the question is why?
Why? Why are they not really worried a lot about climate change? It might be because they feel like there's not a whole heck of a lot they can do. So climate change, humans contribute a great deal. Wow. Again, there's no real trend line here over the last few years. 2019, 49%, 2020, 49%, 2023, 46%, 2024, 45%. That's actually down 4 points from where we were back in 2019. And so less than a majority of Americans believe that humans contribute a great deal to climate change. So the bottom line is that is a big reason why they don't worry a lot. They just don't feel like they can do anything about it.
Well, that's not actually why. If I may, Mr. Berman and Mr. Enton, let me explain to you why people aren't necessarily making the connection between climate change and the fires, or worrying as much about climate change as they are about, the bonfire that's now turning into an inferno that's about to destroy their home. Here's why. Because you've been telling us this for, as you just pointed out, 35, 40 years. You ever hear the story of Chicken Little? We hear it all the time. You have been beating it into our head. We don't need any more educational documentaries about climate change, okay? You believe that this is happening. You believe that it has catastrophic effects. That's fine. You've also been telling us that we only have 10 years left for 40 years. By the way, 50 years ago, you were telling us we had an ice age coming, all right? The fact of the matter is you wrapped yourself in the blanket of science, and you told us this is true, it's happening, it's undisputable, there is no other opinion that is worth listening to, it is written in stone, it is gospel because it is science. But see, those are the same words you used about masks. Those are the same words you used about the origins of the virus. They're the same words you used about social distancing, and of course, they're the same words you used about the shot. And you were wrong about all of that. And now we're suddenly skeptical. You know, we don't immediately believe that just because you say, hey, it's the science, that you're telling us the truth, because you've been caught in so many other lies, regardless of whether you couch it in the science lie or not. And finally, ultimately, I go back to my original premise. Even if you believe that these fires are ultimately the responsibility of climate change, it doesn't matter. If there's a fire, you need to be equipped to put out the fire. And if you're not equipped to put out the fire, and instead you're grandstanding and saying, well, the biggest problem here is carbon emissions, and we need more solar panels, and we need more wind turbines, and oh, by the way, we're going to populate our fire department with people of a different skin color and different ethnicities and different sexual body parts, because when you're dying in a fire, you really want to make sure that the person who's going to try to rescue you looks like you, or comes from the same national origin as you. Even if they're not best qualified to pick you up and take you out of the fire, it doesn't matter, because you'll die a happy man knowing that somebody allowed you to die with the same skin color as you. That's what you've been saying, and it doesn't help me when my house is burning down. So I don't care it's climate change. I don't care the color of the skin or the gender of the person who's coming to catch me. And I don't care what your political motivations are. What I care is when you're the governor, or when you're the mayor, or you're the city council or the county supervisors, and you're taking all my tax dollars, and in California, you're taking a lot of my tax dollars, that you use that money to make sure that when my house is burning down, you have enough water in the hose to put it out, regardless of whether our carbon emissions have been reduced by 0.1% over the last decade. That's what's going on, CNN. You're welcome. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts and regulation changes. Learn why right now gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold, the only company I endorse, is releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword written by Donald Trump Jr. I think he knows what he's talking about. To get your free copy along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text my name, Larry, Larry, to the number 989898. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on that national debt continue to increase. Gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar, and Birch Gold is still the company I recommend to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, and that's without a penny out of your pocket. Text Larry, Larry, to 989898 for your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. No obligation, only information. They've got an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of happy customers. You too can turn to Birch Gold. Text Larry to 989898. Do that today. Do it right now. Do it. Are you done? Did you do it? Did you do it?